Hey guys, it's Steven here. So today I'm going to go over making a little bit of steak right now. I just got back from working out, so nothing better than some nice steak. So this is my cast iron skillet. I'm heating that one, preheating that one. Actually just got done re-seasoning it, so that's kind of what those speckles are. It's a little too much on there. Talk about that later, maybe in a post below. So what we're doing is we're making filet beef. Hold on one second. That there, and you can see I lifted out a little bit, pre-salted it. That's why it's got this nice kind of brown or like reddish brown sort of outside there instead of like a bright red. That's really what you want to do with that, just to kind of keep the flavor nice. I made some bacon this morning, so we're going to cook it in some bacon grease here. And this is our seasoning, and then this is, you know, a mixture of garlic, fresh rosemary, and some shallots. And then this mixture over here, that's ghee, and that's ghee and some MCT oil. I found it's a great flavor carrier, so we're going to make kind of a little sauce at the end to put over the steak. So I'm going to put this camera on the tripod now and get to cooking. Alright guys, it's Steven back again. So I got the camera up on the tripod, and I preheated the skillet, and now the first thing I'm going to do is throw in some of this bacon fat here, and we're just gonna fry up this this fillet real nice here. Just put those in. The method of cooking we're going to do for these is called the constant flip method, and basically what I like doing is I set a timer for whatever I found. This is a thicker cut, so probably 14 minutes, and every minute or so I flip the meat, and I found that this is a great way for just getting perfectly cooked steak. I'll set the timer real quick. So what I want to use is just a fork and then a wooden spoon like this one here. I like using one with a flat edge like that because it's really good for scraping the bottom of the pan, which is nice. You want to make like a sauce or something like that. As I mentioned before, I took these out about 2 hours ago because they're thicker, and salted them up real nice so there isn't a lot of water in there. Which is good, which concentrates the flavor, and you'll kind of see later when I cut them open. One of the reasons why I like this method of cooking too is you can see there's some smaller pieces like this one here. They aren't as thick. This piece isn't as thick. I believe these are two from the filet mignon, which is different than a filet. I'll explain that in a second after I flip these here. You can see that bacon does splatter a little more than, say, something like a ghee. But, you know, I try and reuse stuff in this kitchen, and, you know, it adds a lot of really nice flavor. It's not uncommon for you to buy these where they come pre-wrapped with bacon. You know, and you'll notice that these aren't seasoned yet. What I like to do is I like to season when there's about 5 minutes left on the timer. And I find that, you know, the seasoning doesn't kind of burn off that way. So, let's see, what was I talking about here? Oh, yeah, the filet versus filet mignon. So, if you look at a filet, they're normally like 4 or 5 pounds. They're long, they're about, I don't know, 3 feet long or so. And the whole length of it is just a filet. And then you'll have a little piece which is about 10 inches or so, and that's the filet mignon. So these two pieces are the two end cuts from that one, and there was a center cut steak that I ate earlier. You can see I'm watching the timer here, just kind of giving these a flip. You know, leave them like that, maybe a little bit, get the sides real nice. It's not an exact science to this, but you kind of get the idea. It's also a great way for learning how to make steak because it's a little more forgiving, you know, than say the once flipping method. you know, where you'll set a timer for say 8 minutes and then flip it again. And it's a little easier to kind of screw it up, and what you want to go for is like a perfect medium rare there. And you could easily do like something that's more like a medium or a medium well if you kind of are just starting out, you're learning the skillet, you learn like the pots and pans. I'll give these another flip here. Alright, so we'll talk a little bit how I'm going to season these. This is a chimichurri seasoning, and I put a little coffee and salt in there. I find it makes it, you know, nice and earthy, and what I'll do, about 5 minutes or so, maybe a little less on these ones, is I'll start coating the steaks with them. And you'll see that. Also, I like throwing in some fresh rosemary, garlic, and shallots as well. I find that adds a lot of flavor and creates a great sauce. And then, I don't drink very often, but I had a dinner party here. And so normally I'd use a little bit of water in the skillet and kind of scrape the bottom, but today we're going to use some red wine. Also, at the end, you know, pretty much when I turn the heat off, I'm going to put some ghee and MCT oil in there. And it's going to create this great sauce that kind of goes over the top of the steak. And, you know, you can also use it as a dipping sauce for other stuff. Like, but if you eat that, it's great for just, you know, dipping bread in. I also, I use sweet potatoes, which is kind of lame, but, so, alright. So these are all kind of flipped there. You know, you can see I'm kind of testing these using, kind of see how done they are. They're getting done a lot quicker than the larger ones, but this is kind of, if you feel your palm like that, that's kind of like a rare, and that's kind of a medium, which is a good test if you're just starting out. So I'll throw a little seasoning on these two here. Kind of pat it down with a fork a little bit. Those are going to come off a little earlier. Alright, those are looking good. One of the things you want to be careful about, you don't want them right up next to each other, because then some of the water that gets released kind of steam cooks it there. And, you know, you really don't want that. You want it to sort of be, water is kind of your enemy with steak. You want this stuff as dry as possible, hence the kind of dry aging, you know, the dry aged steakhouse steak, which is, you know, pretty much as good as you can get there in the steak world. But, it's a little tough, and sometimes the dry aging process isn't that good, and it creates a whole bunch of unhealthy stuff for you. I think, you know, different kinds of yeasts and bacteria and all that stuff grow. Yeah, these are getting done a little quicker there. Probably going to take them off in like another minute or two. Yeah, I'll probably take them off in a minute, and then I'll throw the rosemary and garlic and shallots in there, which will get pretty fragrant, and you guys can smell it, because it does smell great. All right, see in a couple minutes. Look at that on there. Let's take these off now. These are, well, this thicker part here. Kind of let that get hit a little bit. There we go. Okay. Alright, so those come off, and I'm going to let them rest for about 10 minutes or so. And they're all set. Now I got to start seasoning these bad boys up. You got a little coffee bean that missed the grinder there. Let's throw our kind of mix of shallots and rosemary and garlic in there, and that's going to make a great topping sauce. And I'll definitely have a lot left over for later. You know, I'll use that on something else and throw it in the fridge. It's a definite crowd pleaser there. Season that up, a little bit more, a bit more. So the important thing too is to keep kind of feeling these, and you're gonna, one of the things you want to do with steak is you can use a thermometer, but I find them cumbersome to use and just kind of annoying to clean, and I like kind of being able to do it by feel, and that's what you really want to be at. That's the point where you really want to be able to get, where you can feel it and be like, okay, like that's a perfectly done steak, and it's ready to take off. Right now we're approaching the time, so we're at about 9-minute mark, 10-minute mark or so. So that's where you really want to start watching and feeling these things and making sure that you take them out just in time, because you know, even a few degrees temperature difference can really kind of make a difference. And you see here, a nice crust is forming, so that's going to be delicious. That's what we want. It's going to get stirred up real nice. So, see, this one's been done a little faster than the others, which is, you know, a blessing and a curse of the cast iron skillet. They do not heat evenly. They don't. Everybody thinks they do. They don't. It's what they do is they do get very, very hot, and that allows you to kind of sear the meat like that and really cook it down quite nicely. So these, I get the feeling I'm going to take them off a little bit earlier than I thought, because they are getting done quite quickly, which can have a lot to do with the fact that I salted them beforehand. I actually salted these overnight, left them in the fridge, and pulled them out. Which, you get a great steak when you're able to do that. Yeah, look at that. It's nice. The crust is forming. We're almost there. We're almost about done here. So probably, I don't want to chance it. This one's coming off. And then so this one comes next. So that one over the heat, and just kind of enough seasoning to do that there. Let's do one of these out for the sauce. Maybe two of them out for the sauce. That one's almost done. That one's done. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. That's going to be wonderful. That one, just a little bit more. Move these around a little bit. And now the benefit of making this sauce too is it actually helps you clean the skillet. Alright, this one's about ready. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little red wine in that skillet. First thing I want to do though is set the timer for 10 minutes. Clear off. This is because you want to let the steak set. And, you know, we'll concentrate the flavors, keep cooking, and it's going to be delicious. So, throw a little bit of red wine in there. You guys are going to lose visual for a little while. Alright. Now this is where kind of having a wooden spoon with a nice flat edge comes into play. I'm going to basically swirl this around and create sort of a reduction sauce that can go over the top. and it's going to be really, really good. And you know, this is what you can do. If you don't have wine, just use water. It comes out great. I'm mainly just using the wine because I have it, but you know, it adds its own little flavor there, and if you want to get fancy. So what I'll do is I'll let this kind of simmer down a little bit, basically actively scraping the bottom and keeping all the bits from kind of forming on there. And then I'll look and I'll see for like the onions and the garlic, you know, they should be like a little bit caramelized. And then I'll kill the heat and throw in that butter and MCT. It's actually ghee and MCT mixture. Use butter, you know, if you got it. Butter's great too. I like using ghee because I don't really do well with dairy either. It's just, all I can pretty much eat is meat and, like, you know, veggies, and that's about it. When it comes to grains or dairy, I can't have any fun. You know, it's a pretty restricted diet, which is part of why I learned how to cook, so I can make myself healthy stuff that tastes good. So just keep moving this around. You don't want anything to really stick to the bottom of the pot because you know, there's tons of flavor that you'll sort of miss out there. And this also has the side benefit of helping you sort of clean your skillet there. It makes it a lot easier. I'm going to show you guys one of these and get it out real quick. It's a skillet brush. So I just ran this through the dishwasher and want to show this one off because if you guys use a cast iron skillet and don't have one of these, get one. They're like $6 or $7, maybe $8 on Amazon. So I'll kind of post a link there. And they make life easy if you own one of these skillets. They're great at cleaning it up, and that's one of the biggest issues I've had with kind of using skillets when I was first cooking. Was cleaning them and kind of learning how to take care of them properly and all that stuff, because you can't run them in the dishwasher, and you have to keep constantly, or at least I find, keep constantly reusing them. You know, I guess it depends on what you cook, but I find every once in a while I just got to reseason them. Okay, so this is kind of looking like it's going to be about done. You know, you can smell the red wine, a little bit of that, you can see the garlic is kind of browning all nice. Yeah, everything's kind of getting nice and caramelized down. So that's going to go over the top of the steak, and it's going to be quite good. So, I don't know, right about now, kind of, yeah, right about now I can about kill this heat. And it will cook, it will continue to cook and stuff for a little while. And I'll just throw the mixture of the ghee and the MCT in there, which I really love because it's a great flavor carrier. The MCT is, and it makes everything pop. I used to take it for what do you call it? I used to take it for health reasons. You know, it's supposed to speed up your metabolism and everything. But I found that, you know, just adding a little bit to the end of cooking, it makes the flavors that much stronger. And this is a very intense, very flavorful. So you want to use only like a little bit like that on your steak. Otherwise, it will really overpower it. But it's quite good. And you can see it's kind of oily here. So what I usually do is I dip my sweet potato in it. So I like sweet potato, and that's kind of how I get the fat for the top of my sweet potato. Oop, sorry about that, guys. It's cold and flu season here in New York, and my girlfriend's fighting something off, so I think I'm gonna be fighting it off too now. But yeah, so that's kind of the rundown there, and I guess we got a few minutes until that steak's done. So I'll pause this one out, and then I'll take this tripod over to the cutting board. All right. All right, guys. So we're on the cutting board section now, And it's a little awkward for me over here because I gotta kind of wrangle around this from the side. So here's our nice fillet, and taste the seasoning on it. It's great. And so now let's cut it up and see what we got here. Let me actually switch to the other side. Cut with my right hand. Sorry, I'm still kind of learning how to use the camera and everything, so it's not going to be perfect. So you can see that. That's, let's see what we got here. Ooh, that's quite nice. That's probably a little closer to a medium than I like, but it's still, that's going to be really damn tasty. No, actually that is a medium rare. That's a medium rare. So I did a great job. So I'm a proud papa right now and just kind of cutting this one up here. And then I'll throw the sauce on top so you guys can see that. Normally you cut these on, or you try and cut on an angle, but I'm not being too fancy today. Alright, so here's the sauce here. I guess kind of the seasoning, pan scrapings, all that. It's really quite good. And we're gonna load that up on top. And kind of that would be how you'd plate it up if you're doing a dinner party, you're making this for somebody or for one of your guests. And that's gonna be really, really delicious. And that is a beef fillet. You know, the most tender cut of meat. And I guess enjoy. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, you could leave them in the section below. You know, if you want to see more cooking stuff like this, follow my channel. So have a great day, guys. Bye.